Hey everyone, tonight's topic is heavy metals. So I had one of my beautiful followers reach out to ask for this video because she's trying to do what she can to support her stepdad who's going through a tough time right now. So she wanted to learn more about heavy metals. So I hope this video helps you, Lisa, and I hope it helps many others that might be tuning in. So heavy metals is a topic I'm really passionate about because I work with a lot of people who come to my clinic each week for help, and they've got, all kinds of things wrong with them. And a lot of these people that I end up coaching, when I look at their heavy metal results, we can see some real high levels of toxicity, especially when it comes to things like lead, mercury, aluminium, cadmium, bismuth. So I think one of the things that people don't realize, probably when we look at lifestyle choices, one of the big problems that we have is heavy metals are actually in a lot of our everyday products. And if we're not checking labels, this is where we can run into some trouble. So heavy metals are in commercial makeup, most commercial makeup. So like brands like L'Oreal and Maybelline, and they're full of heavy metals. Household cleaning products. If you're using products like Pino Clean, White King, Nifty, Domestos, whatever, commercial cleaning products you might be using, a lot of them contain heavy metals. We've got heavy metals in a lot of our personal care products like shampoos, conditioners, toothpastes, deodorants. Deodorants is a really, really big one. Aluminium is very commonly found in deodorant. So on top of the products that we're using every day, we also are exposed to heavy metals through our tap water. If you're not drinking tap water, then maybe you're showering with it. So, our skin's porous, so things do seep into the bloodstream once they touch the skin. We breathe. The air is full of all sorts of chemicals and heavy metals and things that are in the atmosphere. So heavy metals are in a lot of things, that we're breathing and coming into contact with every single day. And in a perfect world, your body would be able to very safely eliminate those metals from your body. Your body knows how to detox you. You're detoxing whilst you're sitting there listening to me right now. The trouble is we don't live in a perfect world. And so a lot of us aren't drinking enough water. We're not eating the right foods. We don't eat enough fruit. Fruit is a really great way to detox heavy metals very safely. We're not eating enough greens. So what makes plants green is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a very safe way to detox heavy metals. So we're not eating the right foods. We're eating a lot of packaged crap, and a lot of those have heavy metals in them. So we're really not helping our body enough. So over time, what happens is the metals accumulate in our tissues, and they burden our liver, they burden our kidneys, our pancreas. They create all sorts of issues with our gut health. And over time, they accumulate. And when they accumulate, that's when we end up having issues with all sorts of different diseases. So I work with a lot of people who have autoimmune diseases. MS is something that I work a lot with. The last woman that I worked with who had MS, when we had her heavy metals tested, her bismuth levels were 1,152 times higher than the average. So, bismuth crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it does cause degeneration. It is a neurological toxin. So in high levels like that, of course, over time, it's going to literally eat away at brain tissue. Unfortunately, that's what heavy metals do. They create degeneration and inflammation in the body. So, did bismuth create her MS? We will never be able to know that fully. I'm sure there were a lot of contributing factors, but, I'm sure it didn't help the situation. So one of the things that I've done with her is, on top of increasing water and having the fiber and changing diet and all that sort of stuff, we did some very safe and effective heavy metal detoxing, which, is going to help her over time bring down those levels. I just finished working with another lady who had her breast implants removed, and when they were removed, it was found that one of them had ruptured. When we looked at her heavy metals, there was, high levels of bismuth and cadmium. So, heavy breast implants do have lots of heavy metals in them. And even though they're inside the fluid, those breast implants sweat and they end up leaching into your bloodstream. And I know that because I had breast implant illness and I had my explant surgery in 2019. And ever since, I've been a huge advocate for breast implant illness, and have been trying to get women to do explant surgery, and I've succeeded with a lot of them. So, I know firsthand the metals and the toxicity that those things can create in your body. So, when you think about all the things that we're exposed to, heavy metals are probably at the top of the list of all the things that cause us the most grief. So when we talk about heavy metal detox, there's a few things that are really, really important for you to understand. At the very top of that list is this. If you're serious about doing some heavy metal detox, you need to decide, how hard you want to go, right? Do you want to just do some really gentle, supportive stuff? Where you can just have your green smoothies, eat your wild blueberries, have your goji berries, increase your vitamin C, increase lots of other antioxidants, just really gentle stuff, and just kind of slowly support the body? Or do you want to go a little bit more hardcore, and do you want to do some proper heavy metal detoxing, which includes doing some proper testing first, which is always the pathway that I recommend for my coaching clients. If we're going to do it, let's do it properly. If you don't have your heavy metals tested, well, how do you know what the hell you're dealing with? You could have high levels of lead in your system. And if you've got issues with your memory, or brain fog, or mental fatigue, or you've got issues with your eyesight, you have to ask yourself, well, what metals are in my system that might be contributing to this situation for me? So metals cause all kinds of disease in our body. Like, the list is truly endless. And every single one of my coaching clients does heavy metal testing first, along with full blood tests, before we go near coaching. So, because that's how passionate I am about this topic, and how much I believe that it's a real necessity. So there are two ways of testing heavy metals. You can get a hair analysis done. You just literally just cut some of the fluff off the back here, all that bottom stuff, the new growth, and send it off for analysis. Or you can do some live bloods. The live bloods are usually a lot more expensive. They're usually anywhere between $500 and $800, depending on where you go. And they're great because they tell us exactly what's in the blood right now. They're brilliant. The hair is great because they tell us a story about what's been in the system for a long time. Because what happens is, when metals enter our system, our body's not stupid. It's incredibly intelligent, and it will detect this threat to our health, and it will push the metals outside our blood, and it will push them out as far as it can. And sometimes they land in our tissues, sometimes they go as far as our bone, but eventually they end up in our skin and in our hair, and we can, our body starts to excrete it, and we end up with residue in our hair, and that's how we're able to test it. So the testing that the heavy metal testing that I do, it's really basic testing, just to give us a really basic understanding of what's going on in the system, is just hair analysis. And there are lots of companies out there that do it. I'm not affiliated with any of them, but I happen to work a lot with a company called ToxTest, toxtest.com.au. I know the owner of ToxTest, and he's a brilliant man, and I really love talking to him. Like I said, I have no affiliation with him, so I'm not getting anything out of referring people his way. I just really like the guy, and he's very, very intelligent and competent. He's very, very competent. So, and he's very generous with his time as well. So if I've ever got any issues, I can call him and go, hey, I've got some questions. So I really like that. I like the customer service. So I get all my clients to jump on to toxtest.com.au, follow the instructions, which, they're there for everyone to read. Follow the instructions, send your hair away. Within a couple of weeks, you'll get an email back with your results. And then when you have your results, you can then go, wowzers, okay, this is exactly where I need to start. Like, look at these levels. Or you might look at them and go, like mine. I had my heavy metals tested last year, which was 2 years after I had my breast implants removed, and I'd done a whole heap of detoxing, and I had them tested last year, and they came back and they were great. There was no signs of any metals in my system, which was fantastic. So I'd done a great job. But when I tested them before I had my breast implants removed, well, that was a very different story. So, it's great to be able to look and go, okay, this is exactly what I'm dealing with. So you can create a targeted approach. So that's step one. Decide, do I want to go just gentle, or because I'm not really concerned, but it would be nice to do some heavy metal detoxing, or actually listening to Diet Talk, I'm realizing, shit, I've got a lot of these products in my house, and I haven't been really looking after myself. I need to do some proper heavy metal detoxing. So yes, that would start with a proper test. So once you decide, you know, how you want to do it, then you can, secondly, and the second most important step is support the colon first. There is no point heavy metal detoxing if you are not pooping regularly. All you're going to do is piss off your body. All you're going to do is aggravate the bejesus out of your liver. If your liver that dumps into the colon has nowhere to dump because the colon is closed for business because it's compacted with parasites and fecal matter and plaque, your body can't eliminate because there's no clear pathway for elimination. So shit's just going to get reabsorbed and recycled, and then all we're doing is we're really pissing off our body. We're stressing our body because we're not doing it in the right order. So step 2, after we work out what level of detoxing we want to do, is we clear the pathway for elimination. We have 4 exits: our bum, right, through our poo; our bladder, right, throughout with our wee and our kidneys; our skin. Our skin is an eliminatory organ. So skin brushing is something that you guys should be doing every day, dry skin brushing. And your mouth, right? So tongue scraping every morning. So if you're going to do any kind of detox, you really have to skin brush, tongue scrape every day whilst you're detoxing. I mean, I do it every day regardless, but especially whilst I'm detoxing. Make sure you're drinking heaps of water to flush the kidneys, right? And make sure you're having a diet that's really high in fiber, so we're getting the colon moving, right? So once we've done that, now I usually do that for at least 4 or 5 weeks before I go anywhere near heavy metal detoxing. 4 or 5 weeks, I'll do that colon cleansing, and then I'll do some specific liver cleansing. So I'll support the liver and the kidneys because they're the main filtration organs. The liver is the main detoxification organ for our body. It's followed second by the kidneys. So once I'm supporting the liver and the kidneys, right, they've got somewhere to dump all their crap because I've cleared the pathway. So the liver, how do we support that? Well, you could just very simply eat lots of grapefruit and juice lots of lemon juice. That's going to support the liver. And stop putting things into your body that burden the liver. There's no point drinking lemon juice followed by 3 cups of coffee. You're wasting your time. So cut the coffee out whilst you're preparing your liver. Cut the coffee out. Cut the alcohol out. They're the 2 things that should go immediately when you're trying to heal your liver. Cut the sugar out and the saturated fat and anything else that burdens the liver. Try and eliminate as much as possible so that you can give your liver a break, and then you can start to support it with some lemon juice, some grapefruit juice, and anything that's green, basically. So the kidneys love chlorophyll. So remember, chlorophyll is what makes plants green. So spinach, cucumber, kidneys love these things. Green apple. The colon loves green apple too because green apple is really high in malic acid. It eats away at the poo, breaks poo down. So lots and lots of juices. You don't have to juice fast. Just drink juice during your day. And if you can't tolerate a lot of fruit juice, that's okay. Drink vegetable juice. Do what I do. I always do 80% veggies and 20% fruit. I tolerate it better that way. With my constitution, as an iridologist, I know what my constitution says about my genetics. My body doesn't like a lot of fructose. I can digest it better these days. But if I had a liter of orange juice, my body would not like that very much. So I always dilute it. I might do a liter of orange with some spinach and some beetroot. So I'm still getting my orange, but not so much of it because it's got some other stuff in it and my body can tolerate it better. So, you think about how you want to do this and then you can, choose your own way. But smoothies and juices are a great way to support the liver and the kidneys. So we've supported the colon, we've supported the liver and the kidneys. Now we're ready to look at, okay, what are my heavy metal results telling me? They're telling me that I've got high levels of cadmium. Well, where's the cadmium coming from? Well, let's do some research. Where does cadmium come from? Well, cadmium comes from a lot of everyday products. So many products. Cadmium can be found in soil, for starters. So if you're not eating organic produce, cadmium is in the soil. So it can be on your conventional produce. Cadmium can also be in the atmosphere. So if you're living in an agricultural area or you're living near an airport or something like that, it's in the air. Cadmium can also be in some makeup. So try and identify, where is it coming from? What do I need to eliminate out of my life, right? Because there's no point cadmium cleansing and then continuing to expose yourself to cadmium if you can help it. Obviously, if you live near an airport, you can't really help that. But do what you can to eliminate the source if you can find it. Sometimes it's not easy to understand where the hell am I getting cadmium from. So, if you've got cadmium or if you've got mercury or lead, identify the areas of where they're coming from. And then you would use very specific protocols for the different metals. There is not one protocol that magically removes all heavy metals from your system. Yes, the juicing will help. Yes, the smoothies will help. The fiber helps. Absolutely. It all helps. Antioxidants help. Absolutely. They all help to get rid of, general issues with heavy metals. But if you've got high levels of lead, you might need some zeolite, or you might need some bentonite clay, some very specific things that bind. The binding agents, they bind like a magnet that bind to that element for safe elimination. So this is where it gets, a little bit more sophisticated in your approach, which is why I asked that question at the beginning. Do you want to go slow and slow, or do you want to go hardcore? Let's do this the right, proper way, which takes effort and money, right? All things cost money. So, heavy metal testing costs money. Replacing all your everyday products costs money. So you need to ask yourself, how hardcore do I want to go? And then, once you've got all that information and you've got your results back and you've started the process, then you can decide, okay, well, can I continue to do this on my own, or do I need to work with a detox specialist to get better results? Because of course you can do this on your own. There's a gazillion pages on the internet that will teach you how to do safe heavy metal detoxing, but it is quite confusing if you don't know what you're reading, and if you don't know, or sometimes you get conflicting information that can be confusing, and it's a little overwhelming as well. So sometimes if you're reading this stuff, you can feel a little overwhelmed. So this is why I'm here. As a health coach, I would guide you through and keep you safe, and I would hold your hand the whole way through, so that if you had questions along the way, you have someone to ask. I think this is the hardest part about making changes. You'll have 3,000 questions along the way. If you're not being coached, and you have just a random consult with me, and then I don't see you for 6 weeks, well, in that 6-week period, who's going to support you and help you? This is why coaching is so valuable. When I first started, so back in 2012, I was a smoker. I was 100 kilos. I wore glasses. I had IBS. I had all sorts of things wrong with me. When I started, I tried a million things, because I'd try something for a couple of weeks. I wasn't getting results. I'd try something else. I wasn't getting results. And all I did was chase my tail. It was the most frustrating thing ever. And then that's what actually inspired me to go and get educated and do it properly. Right? I thought, I don't want to work with anyone. I actually want to do this for myself. So I went and did a bunch of courses, and I learned how to do this properly. But that's not for everyone, which is why I'm here if you need some support. So I also will mention at this point, you're always welcome to message me if you have some general questions. But I cannot answer specific questions, because I know that after I post this video, I'm going to get someone that will say to me, hey, how do I get mercury out of my system? I would never answer specific things like that, because A, I don't know anything about you. It would be very reckless of me to go, yeah, just eat some broccoli. That'll fix your problems. I don't know anything about you. But B, I need so much information before I can actually give a valuable answer. Otherwise, I'm just, otherwise you just might as well just chuck it into Google. It's the same thing when you ask me, really, if I don't know you, it's the same thing, right? I don't know anything about you. So if you really value your health, you need to invest in it. You need to invest in quality time, one-on-one time. So you're welcome to book a Zoom consult if you just want an hour of my time. You're welcome to come into the clinic. I'm there every Saturday. I can take your iris and your sclera photos. We can have a conversation about, what's happening for you, and I can give you some guidance around what you need to do. Or if you're listening right now and you think to yourself, I need more than that, well, then we'll just coaching. Coaching might be the right pathway for you. So if you've got any questions about that, reach out and ask me. But if you've got specific questions, I'm not going to answer them via message. So please do book an hour of my time, and we can go through things properly. Okay. So I'm hoping that this video has helped some of you, especially you, Lisa, who actually requested this video. If you guys have got any topics of interest that you'd like for me to share with you, go ahead and drop me a line. I'm always happy to record these videos to help you guys out. So send me a message if you've got a topic that you'd like to know more about. Okay. Anyway, I hope you have an awesome weekend. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you again soon. Lots of love. Bye.